Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Master Division Finals of the SpyParty Major League. My name is Taboshi. I'm joined today by Noob,
Howdy, howdy.
and we have Wrestler as our host and observer today. It's LevT versus Guggie. We got there.
And when we say we, I mean we're all Guggie fans, right? We're completely biased commentary. He made it, and the only person who believed him was himself. Uh, Here in the finals. I'm excited. Lev's been so strong throughout the whole season. He's just been sniping up a storm. He's likely going to be going to Grandmaster, especially obviously if he wins this. But the story here has to be Guggie, right? Just
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone thought it was going to be Martini up there with Lev, but Guggie just somehow managed to keep on barely squeaking through wins and barely squeaking through wins and actually managed to get a better scoreline than Martini did. Only losses to LevT, and even that was pretty close.
Yeah, if you haven't been following, every game recently from Guggie has been a 9-7 win. Just getting the W's by the bare minimum, and I mean that's possible today. With only one loss, and it was LevT, 6-9 mid-season. Uh, I think all rust is gone. Always a risk in Spy Party, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
Where
absolutely. You've
where are we
got to,
going, Diva?
you still got to have Lev T as the favorite for the night, just because his sniper game has been like just so strong this
Yeah,
season. But
we're looking at the
Guggy
numbers.
is definitely going to put up a
82%.
fight. 82%.
Yeah, and you can see just the score differences for LevT. There's a lot of comfortable wins. Only recently did he have the a win that wasn't by at least a few games. And just that draw to Asinine Effect, which is not really something that's a stain. Asinine Effect is just very good. On Guggie's side, you see the last 5 games have all been really close. It's been more of a battle. But that is to say also he's been potentially more clutch. He knows how to deal with these high pressure situations because he's continually winning game 16s.
Yeah, yeah. Guggie's got the ice for sure, but versus Lev T, he might need a little bit more than that. His spy game is going to have to be crazy good to be able to push through Lev's sniper. So let's have a look at the draft for the night. We've got Guggie banning out Aquarium, Lev T banning out Tayen, and this is how everything fell.
Yeah, so with Guggie being a strong spy this season, but not having the same sniper to match Lev T, I'm not too surprised with seeing something like Terrace. That being said, there really isn't that much of these like 50-50 maps. Ballroom ends up being relatively close to 50-50. But this is going to be a fairly skillful setup. We aren't dealing with things like aquarium, which bring a lot of chaos. We aren't dealing with a lot of any balcony, which brings a lot of chaos, or Tan. So it's really going to come down to who's playing better today, with a very like straightforward pick and ban phase.
Yeah, this is very much just going to be a showdown. Like there's not much crazy going on with the map set. So without much further ado, I think we're about ready to get into this thing. It's Guggie versus Lev T, starting things off on the gallery for the Master Division Finals in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, we're going to be starting off with double gallery into double modern. And what that is going to just ask of our spies is pacing. You need to be, if you're going to be completing missions, starting early and starting often on the 2 largest maps in the game. If
Gallery often is very deceptive in its size. These players have obviously been around the block enough to understand just how long the walking distances are, but when you're just looking through it, it really doesn't feel as bad as it is.
Yeah, I said largest, and that's not true. I mean, we have Veranda, we have library, but for time constraints wise, uh, gallery is definitely the most testing for a spy. It's very common to see if a spy loses control of the game, uh, a purloin at the end of the game that's just never going to work because they didn't do anything to set themselves up
And
for success.
this is also a unique venue in the sense that sometimes the seduction target is just not playing nice, and LevT, instead of picking up that early flirt, wound up with a briefcase and a print early on instead. So that's going to make the rest of this game a little bit weird as far as the pacing is concerned. But LevT, sorry, heading back out front to see if we can get this flirt started.
Yeah, there was a moment there where we could have potentially done a double walking bug. General, definitely a good character to do it, but it did not occur for better or for worse. Anything that you do in Spy Party can immediately get you shot. We got about 2 minutes left on the clock, and we have two half missions. We're actually fairly behind pace, but double agent here coming in gives us an opportunity if we want to take it. In this conversation up here, it won't be very many suspects, but it
Lots
does
of
look.
movement in the back is a little bit worrying. We did get the green test on the flirt to bring us up to 51%, so if we can hit another green on the next one, that's going to be really nice.
Yeah, the other option here, I mean, it is Spy Party. Somebody can get shot, but against snipers at this high level, when we're talking master going into players who are going to be moving into grandmaster, it's really hard to rely on a miss shot. I don't know who it would be. I don't think anybody's done multiple statues. I haven't seen anybody like walk by the ambassador and get the eye of the sniper. It's likely going to be something forced if we're not completing, which would still potentially get a shot if we're doing something like a purloin.
Yeah, at this level, usually miss shots are accompanied by a little bit of a helping hand from the spy, seeing someone in the party who is doing suspicious things and nudging them into more suspicious situations. LevT, by the way, did get the green test on the timer flirt. So flirt is done. That's out of the way. But with 50 seconds left to play and no other progress other than that first print, we are in a bad situation on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, there is opportunities, like Ambassador going to the bookcase here does give us an opportunity to get the second fingerprint, maybe microfilm that. Uh, this could also be a swap here, then get our second fingerprint.
It's a
It
green
will
swap.
be
It's a
green swap.
green swap.
We have to get
Right,
our
so we
fourth,
need
and
to find
since
one more mission somewhere. It's going to be the contact. Double agent is out front here. This is going to be a pretty good play. We're in the talking animation, so we're not going to be
Banana
suspected
bread.
of a bug here. Contact is done. What's the reaction from Guggie? There's none yet. There's the shot coming off as he sees the swap happen. Was paying more attention to the statue than to the double agent, and it pays off.
yeah, with 10 seconds left, the issue that you have with the banana bread is there's no like incentive to go low light people. You can low light people or like discredit people who may have been like a very high suspect, but really you're just looking for do I need to shoot somebody at this moment? And so using banana bread to cover for the swap doesn't really work, and it makes sure that we are the one who gets shot because Disney was outside of the conversation for the banana bread. Just a very controlled finish there from Guggie, uh, but I'm not sure there was really a strong opportunity for Lev to win this as a spy.
It's always interesting how that calculus changes near the end of the game. And if spies aren't as on top of that as the snipers are, it can lead to little situations like that where you make a play that normally works, but not right at the end of the game. So let's see what Guggy is able to do on the spy side versus LevT's sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Okay, and Guggy is definitely a fan of the small man. He is immediately being highlighted and punished for his choices.
Sometimes you just need to highlight Smallman just to be able to keep track of him.
Yeah, and especially on gallery, most of gallery is actually pretty safe from Smallman. It's just the shenanigans that happen in the back conversation. And where the ambassador decides to hang out is actually a huge part of Spy Party in general, but definitely important in Gallery, particularly if he's just in the back conversation like he is now, the back of the back conversation even. That's where he gets really threatened. Even someone like Duke here is just returning a briefcase has to be stared down because he can potentially get 1.5 missions if that happens to be the spy.
Nice little low suspicion white flirt coming out of the statue there. Didn't actually wind up taking any time to pick one up either. That's not the kind of thing that spies will usually take the opportunity to do. So when it does happen, it looks a bit like that's a bug. That's just a bug.
So Guggie's spy camera was not looking at the sniper. He's not looking to see if anything in particular is happening. He just decided now's a good time to step forward and get this bug before the ambassador gets kicked out. Now
Small
with
one,
a
yo.
contact
And then
here,
red.
we're gonna have half our missions done, and we have plenty of time to finish this flirt, especially if our certain target comes right to us.
Yeah, this is lighting up really well. That bug was bold as all heck, but it worked out. And now we're at 85% on the flirt with 2 minutes and 10 still to play after the contact. So we just need one more flirt and one more something, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, this is a good position from Guggie. The issue is, if you look around the rest of the party, there are no other highlights. Lev hasn't found anybody else worthy of lighting up, and while we aren't really able to understand the suspicion of Guggie himself, because he just got the automatic highlight at the beginning of the game, this is a pretty strong position, and we're
And
small men.
he's
If we want to
and
do
he's
something,
flying. He got the flirt done. He still has a minute and a half to play, and he just picked up 2 inspects. He's gonna
if
be done at this like a minute left.
If we want to, we could also do something cheesy like Purloin and dance around in the back.
I think
This
he's just
doesn't
gonna
look
go
like we
statue
are.
to
We are
statue
just
and yeah, he's
shoot him.
just gonna go statue to statue and dare LevT to take the shot. And he does!
Damn.
LevT does it! I like the idea, it just didn't quite get there.
Yeah. I mean, from Lev's perspective, you know that they've done the contact because you did your low lights and they weren't one of them. Uh, you can assume that they had done their seduce. If there was any sniffing of the bug, it's a required shot. Um, I don't hate the idea of going and doing the inspects here early in a match sense, because it really gives your opponent an idea of saying, "Hey, I'm willing to go quickly and put some time pressure on you." This might have repercussions in the future where the sniper is a bit more jumpy and will be willing to shoot an AI, which in this sniper heavy, high level gameplay might be all you need to do to win this set. So I think this is actually a good setup for future games.
2 more games of gallery as this was one of our doubled venues. LevT back on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I will add to that. This idea of I'm gonna play quickly and set up the mindset of the opponent does work for most people. For Guggy, it might already be considered what is the standard. I consider Guggy. It's really funny. We had this Spy Party community that's been around for so long, and I've met people in real life, and they're a lot younger than I thought they were, and I'm like, oh. And then there's some who join in, and you're like, oh, you play an immature game. And to find out, I know how old Guggy is. I'm like, yep, this kid.
Gonna go
This kid
fast.
plays he's fast and loose, disrespectful. These Gen Z spies. Uh, and it's it works. I mean, he's got a 46% win rate in a very high level sniper community there in Masters. So uh, keep on doing what you're doing, Guggy. It's gotten you here to the finals.
17% off of the first flirt. That is as bad as it gets in a very literal sense. Luckily, the second one was a green test to bring us up to 68. So we're effectively in 3 flirt range if we just get nice and close on the second one and on the third one, sorry, and don't take any risks. So weird start to the game for sure. I don't think we're going to do anything with the blue book, and indeed back it goes, but that's where we stand at the moment.
Yeah. very standard start. The big thing with gallery is always going to be contact, because contact is just generally considered like the second best mission in the game for like you're expecting to have contact in most games.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it before say there's 90 seconds left, the double agent might just never go back to conversation. You might just have to do something else. But if you do it early, you get so many lowlights because just in gallery, there's so many places that people can be that aren't the conversations. There really isn't a great window, and it's always going to be a big issue for any spy playing on gallery.
Yeah, absolutely. There are just so many non-conversation pads. Now, this is, I believe, barely not in bug range, and I don't think we can get away with twitching over considering Guggie's laser right now, but it also means the ambassador's not moving much, so we're taking a lot of
We've
time
also
here.
had a drink in hand, so we're actually kind of protecting ourselves from the suspicion for a bit. If the sniper is aware that we've had a drink in hand, which is a little bit harder than usual because we are facing directly away from them.
White
White
purloin,
purloin
white
and the
purloin.
fade,
Got a
100% on
decent
screen.
look at the fade, but the laser literally has not moved at all.
I mean, there's no reason to shoot immediately. We know that this character has not completed missions. But if Guggie missed that, we're in trouble. You ain't winning this set if you're playing like that. So I believe
No,
here
yeah,
comes some
oh, that's a bug. That's a very a
again
bug.
very on screen. Come on, Guggie.
I think he finally went to low light the people at the front of the party when that bug was setting up, and he was just sort of looking back over as it was happening. So I could see him having missed that.
Guggie has been just refusing to look at the front the majority of the game. I think that was the first moment he actually zoomed out, and then perfectly timed from Lev, and I'll give him the credit for it. Here come more
15
lowlights, but
seconds.
lowlights aren't shots. Lev is probably going to put this.
Just,
It's going to be three at bookcase. Blue is actually.
oh, oh,
No,
no,
no, no, no,
no!
no,
It's the wrong
no!
shot! Guggy was
What?
on the wrong trail, and LevT gets through the first spy game.
Yeah, it looks like Queen approaches the front conversation, considers going in, gets bounced out, and while doing so, just looks like she's doing a bug. Uh, just a little bit of lack of confidence there on the purloin. A little bit of lack of confidence about being able to see a bug. And this is, I think,
Wow, that
well,
really did look like a
it looks
bug, didn't
so
it?
suspicious. If you do that as a spy, and you get away with it, like congratulations. But it's so AI like to do something that stupid. It's too dumb. But in the moment here, especially with the pressure of it being the finals, it's like you can't not punish that. You got to teach the
Yeah.
guys a lesson.
All right. Well, one more to go on gallery. It's Guggy on the spy side. Needs a win here to keep things level versus LevT's sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And we're playing as twin with our seduction target as twin. Which I always think of like stepbrothers, where it's like they're just really excited. You're like, let's go in a bunk bed. We have so much room for activities. Because otherwise, it doesn't really work. We are forcing a flirt here. There was multiple people who wanted to be in this conversation, and we did not let them do it because we want to be here for the 29%.
I mean, 29%'s not fantastic, but it ain't bad. It means you get to be a little bit looser with your positioning to your seduction target. Not that this is a venue where you're probably going to get flirt paired, but still.
Good job, Guggy. He's respecting the animation of like waiting till his character's not crossing their arms. At the front of gallery is perhaps the least watched area in the world of Spy Party. I don't think you actually need to do it, but he was patient to not break animation, and he still got the inspect and the flirt off, so perfectly timed there. Just good little micro from our player, and he's on a third flirt.
That's so many
Okay,
flirts. That's so many flirts. Didn't get that one off because section target bailed on him before. He's just going. He's just gonna get this dang flirt. Okay,
no,
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 he
no.
went to green bookcase. That is the correct decision.
Yeah, when you're actively choosing who your seduction target is, which I'm assuming is happening when you're playing twin and twin, uh, and then you're standing next to them 3 times in a minute, it even somebody who doesn't watch for flirt might sniff it out and have the instinct there. 2 minutes later, going, "Yeah, I remember I didn't like that guy for a reason. Let's shoot him."
Yeah. Fingerprint on the briefcase, walks it all the way outside to hand it off to the Amba, give the book a bit of a wash, and back to the back of the party we go.
We have half of 4 missions. If we were to put this in the blue bookcase, that would be 1, and the other
Guggie
3
go
being
fast, yo.
yeah. So it's just how do we combo them, right?
Yeah.
Putting the book into the blue bookcase doesn't get us a new fingerprint. We aren't likely to get a flirt at the statues that we need to go to, specifically the ones that are further away. There is a potential print, but Guggy just likes watching himself. There we go.
Yeah.
Note
That
the
I
investment there.
think was our third white flirt. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, both these players have been having a really strong spy rate. 46% for both of them, I believe. Okay.
The cheese. Okay.
You know what this is, right? We're just trying to find another excuse to go flirt.
Yeah.
I think it's genuinely he wants to flirt more than he wants to like potentially get low lit for being a cute little spy who does AI like things.
I thought he was gonna go book cheese. To be honest, I thought he was gonna like do the microfilm transfer at that spot.
We're going for a sixth flirt. We've already finished flirt. Yeah. Outside here does have the ability to contact the double agent, which not really. That conversation's full.
That's
This
a decent redirect, though. Maybe stood still a little bit longer than you'd want to in that situation, but with 30 seconds left to play, even though Guggy do be going fast, it may not be fast enough with how awkward things have become here. Still hasn't managed to drop this green book, still hasn't managed to find another print, still hasn't managed to get back into the statue. That was so ugly trying to get into conversation, but the
front
contact
conversation
comes
gallery does
off.
not matter. This is trying to force a shot or trying to really finish bound, but we spent so long outside not completing the missions because we just couldn't get into that conversation, and we're just gonna run out of time.
Yeah, even if he did manage to slam that, though, it's not the last mission.
Yeah, we
So
only had 2 missions done.
yeah,
So the issue with holding this book, right, is there was a fingerprintable statue. I mentioned it about a minute left in the game. We're holding this book. We're kind of committed to either returning it, which might just get a shot anyway, by the ways, even if you put it in the green book case, or returning it, at which point we already have 3 missions. We don't need to get a fingerprintable statue anymore. Uh, in addition to that front conversation just being full, not getting shot when we tried to force ourselves in there, which kind of implies we could have done that 30 seconds ago.
yep.
Um, it's a little rough game, and it means Lev's up in this set.
Yeah, I think it was just the decision to hold that book that caused the issues. It was too much stuff going on at the same time, and all the stuff we wanted to be doing we couldn't because we had the book in hand. So didn't wind up working out, and LevT goes up 3-1 early going into the second doubled venue of the night. It's Veranda, with LevT on the spy side first in 3-2-1 playing it. And this venue we definitely expect to go 50-50.
Yeah, Veranda. That looked like a bug for me. Just looking at the menu, it wasn't. The Veranda should be, because it's 5 of 8. You have so much time to catch them. It should be 2 sniper wins or 4 sniper wins. But it turns out that this game's hard, and even with 5 missions needing to be completed, uh, just a lot of things happen. If you get away with a purloin, just put so much more pressure on your opponent, who really has to mission count. And unfortunately for both these players, I think both their opponents are capable of doing that.
Absolutely. I would love to see a 4 of variant attempted on this venue, just to see how that would play. But as for now, this is just a hard task for the spies against very strong snipers. Starting things off with a nice, well covered microfilm transfer animation style. Now, that's half the mission done. So we'll see. Like, probably the second half's going to come at the blue bookcase at some point, but that's a decent start.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost just indicative of how hard Veranda is. Spies are so hesitant to do action test microfilms because a white test can often just get you shot. But on Veranda, it's like, what else are you doing? You're walking a book all the way across the map, taking a minute to do it, and then getting shot anyways. Like, what are we doing here?
Ooh,
I
gets
do.
drawn over to blue bookcase by the seduction target, so we're going to get some extra progress while we're here. Does he hit the green? He does not hit the green, so it's 34% on the flirt, and hits the green test on the transfer, which is probably the important one. So that's a hard tell away, and
Yeah,
34%
the
on the
blue
flirt.
side here, the blue bookcase when both the ambassador and Toby are on the left side of the map is the best opportunity you're gonna have for a microfilm. And since he'd already done the one at green,
Oh,
ooh, sneaky highlight though.
yeah,
Those are
that's
the scariest ones. When you go back and watch the replay and you see your opponent didn't want you to know that they highlight you, uh, that's a real problem.
yeah, that's suddenly you're second guessing everything forever when that happens.
Yeah, and again, we're in a situation where if you just look at it from the sniper side, we've got a twin highlight, which might be even just uh, determining which twin is which, and then we have the spy. It is just not a a friendly world to be in. There haven't been many lowlights. Well, we haven't said banana bread. But like, if Lev was, for example, to do a purloin here, I think we might just die.
Second flirt to bring us to. Oh, that's a green purloin. Never mind the flirt. We've got a list shenanigans happening.
Yeah, this is a double take.
He
We
does the
rejected it.
double
We
take.
requested it immediately, and we took it. But also the sniper was just watching that whole interaction the whole time, zoomed in. And will now do a double take themselves when they see that the list is gone. With a lot of people nowhere near Toby. They're just, if we remember it,
Banana bread.
yeah,
Pretty decent timing on the contact, like right as the list got seen as well. So it gives Guggie a lot of stuff to try to think about all
yeah.
at
We saw
once.
Lev get away with a purloin on gallery, and while he's not in a healthy position here, being one of two highlights, there hasn't really been that active response. I would have liked to seen a highlight on Red Dress, for example, who's the person who actually took the list.
That's the flirt done, but it's a 5 of venue. We still need one more. Bug available, swap available, not enough time for either of the others, so it's gonna be one of those two.
Yeah, Ambassador is friendly. But we have a drink in
We
hand.
have a drink in hand, we can't take it, so it's gonna be 20 seconds as we step into the statues, gulp the drink, take a statue, swap it
We want to swap basically
quickly.
immediately.
Yep, there it is. It's
It was
not
a
gonna be
rotate.
overtime. Does
What do you?
Guggie check it? Guggie does not check it, but takes the shot anyways.
Counting's
Oh
overrated.
man, that was close.
That was the timing that you shoot for a second inspect. Uh, I think that Seek highlight at the beginning of the game might have just been in relation to like a lot of activity, maybe a bad path, and like not necessarily an understanding of what they've been up to, just that they are
Yeah.
the spy. Um, because he did not seem to seemingly check for that swap.
No, no, I don't think he saw the swap at all. I really do think that was just a um I think this is finishing inspects.
Either that or it's purely just instinctual. And to be fair, if he didn't like if he tried to rotate over or wait for the spy to move, we were close to just running out of time. Either way, I mean, if this is the instincts that you're going to bring into the game, if you can also bring it on the spy side, there are definitely winning chances in this set because that's just a great shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if he can try to pull it back level from the spy side of Veranda, though. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. We almost had a spy win already. Let's see if we can get a real one this time as we step into the first flirt for a quick 51%.
Yeah, I think we're like the only possible flirt. And just everybody else is still walking about, and we are just hitting up our best lines, showing our maximum riz. You know, I've not casted in long enough. It's been too long to a point that I've not been able to say the word riz on stream. But we do have maximum riz if we're hitting these green tests. Are we just gonna really?
I think
You
we
hit such
might
an
just
early.
timer flirt this and maybe get
I
a bug
hate
on the way
that.
out. Who knows?
I hate timer flirt with Veranda. Like, you're not playing David W. Like, you're fine. Just go,
I mean,
roll
he got
away,
his
and come
first
back.
one so early. I kind of agree with you, but white test on the second one, it was indeed a timer flirt. 85% is where we stand. Where do we
Neither
go from
player is
here?
hitting enough green tests to warrant timer flirts. Like, if you're over 50% and you're feeling yourself, like, go for it. But you shouldn't be feeling yourself. Also, these paths in the bookcase have always been terrible from both players, and I'm just not. It's 2024, guys. Come on.
And
Another
it's the
white microfilm.
animation transfer yet again. Lots of cover with the party here. Conversation in front, queen at the window. Just good cover to block that arm.
Yeah, Wheels might be the best microfilmer in the game. Both height and just also like a relatively mild animation. Not that anybody has a particularly good white
That
animation.
looked very buggish. It wasn't, but it looked buggish.
I mean, you can get the lack of credit for a bug and
That's
be
true.
discredited for that sort of thing. And Wheels' bug animation's so awful that you can almost guarantee you would have seen it.
It's a
For
fair point.
anybody, I'm looking at the chat and I'm like, you guys all know this. When the hand comes off the armrest, it's
He like
uh,
leans all the way over as well.
yeah. I mean, it's bad. The standing bug's good though. Here comes a white microphone, and it's gonna be hard covered. The
Yeah,
only
that
issue was Toby bent down. He was giving additional cover, and he bent down to give Smallman a drink. So only slight concerns.
yeah, that was one of the most unseeable animation transfers I've seen in a while. Flirt at the statue to get that
I would have shot him
finished up.
already. So when it comes to spies, like you don't have to have perfect pathing or anything against an opponent who doesn't care. That's been true for the life of Spy Party. Um, but these paths into the action sites have not been precise there from Guggie, and it instinctually just feels bad when you see somebody who's already doing a mission, they're already inspecting, and then something feels a little bit off.
Oh no, it's a cough! We have a cough, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't seen one of them in some time.
Again, we're just finding all the minor benefits of playing wheels. He's not Smallman levels of short, but like his cough's just kind of hard to see sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Quite often, when a cough happens and you don't see it, you just sort of, well, I know these people didn't cough, so I'm gonna lowlight them. But even then, it wasn't many lowlights. It's just four down.
We doing two animations here? Yeah, Goggie's uh just disrespecting Lev's respect for etiquette. And I thought it was to do a purling, but no, we didn't actually do purling either.
Yeah, it's in the
Swap the
statues.
win,
We go for the
swap the win,
inspect swap at the end of the game.
full
He does
rotate
rotate
though.
around. He does get a look at the statue. LevT with the big rotation at the end of the game manages to find the swap and find the shot. Stays up 4-2.
I'm not sure what the game plan was from Guggie. If it was just do the exact same thing as my opponent, he did a really good job. He started off with microfilm, and he ended swap on the right side and got shot. So 3 for 3.
The exact same thing indeed. So we are now done with the doubled venues. LevT comes out on top 4-2. As we head into the singles, it's Ballroom first. Lev on the spy, Guggie on the sniper. In 3-2-1, playing it.
More twin, this time just plain twin, and not having our selection target be the other twin for twinception. But Ballroom really just puts players to the test. How are you going to prevent somebody from doing something as simple as going to middle statues? How are you going to complete when you have every option in the world, but every option's kind of okay? It's it really is the basic spy party map for the better.
The oldest Spy Party map as well. It's 25% for LevT as he starts off the festivities, not very quickly.
I swear these guys are only hitting green test flirts when they're like flirting. And we definitely haven't seen much of two flirt. We had the one, right? So it's gonna kind of incentivize. I think doing things like cheese flirts or doing things like time ads are getting more and more incentivized because both these players just aren't on like their full mechanical game so
Indeed.
far in the set.
Very slow start from Lev T. Still just has that one flirt as we tick down towards the 2-minute mark. Staring up the double agent, but the conversations aren't very full.
I
Looks
have
like we're
this
going
weird
for the
suspicion
briefcase here.
that Lev knows that if
Enemy
he
in the
does
red.
purloins and plays slowly, that he has a decent chance of getting a number of wins against Guggie, who's not reacted well to purloin so far and has taken already one civ shot. Because otherwise, this gameplay has just generally been on the slow side,
Yeah.
but not like slow in a respectful way.
Neat little move there where he took the contact with the briefcase in hand. That was a green test that was very sorely needed, and he did get it, but did not get the green test on the next flirt. So it's 59% there, and it's a green purloin to boot.
He just doesn't think that Guggie can track white purloins, or in this case, green purloin. This is the third
There's the
tray
take.
purloin in like 5 games.
And Guggie hasn't really been looking at the list. I think that got off fairly clean. He's just not looking at it.
Yeah, he just really hates Ambassador or Smallman. Probably both. Those are both the most hateable things that aren't briefcase. So, a fair, but like, you gotta catch purloins. Even just acknowledge it, please. Like, take some lowlights or something.
Into the green bookcase we go, and we pull it out. I don't think it's needed, though.
Yeah, I hate this. It's kind of a desperation thing, but we just want the hands open in case the ambassador touches something.
There's the flirt done. There's the print on the book, but he's not able to hit it. It doesn't matter. The shot comes off anyways, probably on catching the purloin extremely late and not realizing how late it was.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think this is the game plan, right? It's I know my opponent is a bit jumpy. If I purloin every game, either I get away with it and I finish, which was definitely an opportunity, or a shot comes off. Because this is 3 purloins, and doing this many purloins when it's like tray purloin is disrespectful.
I
But
mean, if it's working, it's working. I don't expect LevT to let up on this until Guggie starts picking up on these trays a bit more consistently, because it's gotten him ahead 5-2 at the moment.
yeah, and the
That's
issue with being in this spot where you just know that your opponent can purloin is both options work. If he continues to purloin, it will likely result in more success. Or if you decide to stop, but your opponents learn that you're trying to purloin, you end up benefiting that way. There isn't really any downside. You're also winning. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. You were up 5-2, just snipe. So let's see if Guggy can bring it back. But 5-2 is gonna be rough against a sniper who's been as solid as Lev throughout this whole season.
absolutely. I mean, if anyone is going to get through on the spy side, it's probably Guggy, but he's
Yeah.
got to start getting through on the spy side starting now in 3-2-1, playing it.
What are we up to here now? Some classic old mom, aka Teal, aka my favorite character.
Looked like you wanted that bug early on, but thought better of it.
And instead, we're doing the same thing, which is going to. We don't need. He did the insta talk flirt into insta stop talk, and I feel like it just makes the action test harder on yourself when you do something like that. It's not actually that great.
Yeah, well, it worked out. Got the 51% off of it.
What's the plan? I want this drink gulped so we can have fun. Because
Kind of
otherwise, like, contact's not a real thing. She's in a conversation by herself. Don't walk in there and BB.
keeping
Are
an
we
eye on
timer
the
flirting?
double
Are we
agent.
genuinely just timer flirting? Because we've
I
run into
think
time
it's a, I
trouble, like,
think it's a timer flirt.
and you're not gonna hit the green. Like,
Yep, indeed they did not. So it's 85% on that. Has been keeping an eye on the double agent and the ambassador, but hasn't really done anything about them quite yet.
okay, it's Noob's time to do commentary. Why are you not time adding? You're not hitting green tests in your flirts. It's the party's been incredibly dry. Nobody should be suspicious because nobody's done anything, including yourself. Uh, except for Smallman and the back statues. Thank you, Smallman, for proving me wrong. Uh, go hit a green time ad. Nobody ever catches those.
I mean, if you're not hitting your green tests, maybe you're a little bit worried about not hitting your green tests on the time ad.
Time ads are so much easier. There's no pressure. It's not a real mission, so you don't have to worry about the stress. It's like the
In
difference between doing your first flirt and the second flirt. Second flirt is so much harder when you're already at 50%, 51%.
in conversation with the double agent now. Still not a great time for it. People are slowly filtering into conversations, but does decide to take it at the end there. A little bit of a banana split into a we've got swap cheese on the board.
We're gonna stand back where we already were and finish our flirt. Uh, I don't know if anybody's been at the statue recently. I believe they haven't because I think the last people anywhere near it was Smallman. This is just pure cheese, and we're potentially trying to stand in the way of the statue, though we really aren't. What's the
Got the
fourth mission here?
flirt
But
done. Still a minute to play. I don't think it's gonna be inspects.
we're
It's
just
not
gonna
gonna be
exist
fingerprint at this point.
near the The idea of bugging there was prettier than the actual bug, but because it never would have stuck. But
Yeah.
Ambassador trying to help
It's
us.
gonna be a purloin. It's a white test on the purloin as well. Didn't see the fade, so might get away with something there. Not a much reaction from LevT. Didn't think it was the end. So Guggie does indeed get one back from the spy side. They're only one breakdown now. It's 3-5.
Fingerprintable drink for no reason. Love it. Yeah. Again, I mean, a win for Guggy is huge here. Definitely needed to get a win on a map like Ballroom because the maps aren't getting particularly easier throughout the set. Uh, but just needs to hit some green tests at some point. This Purloin's so scary. A
Yeah.
little bit of a blessing here. Toby always turns towards like the middle of the map, which meant that between both the angle and him turning away, it was always going to be a little bit harder for Lev to see the fade. And if the swap got away fully clean, it just means that Lev doesn't have a full count, even if he sees the list gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Courtyard is an interesting proposition because it really, really promotes creative spy play. And Guggy is not the kind of person who will just sit back and play the well-paced Softel game. So if this is another pretty good opportunity for Guggy to get one back, but he's got to get through LevT's spy side first. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah. Courtyard, we've waxed poetically about for a very long time. Uh, but it's become a nerdy thing again. Back in old art, there was pathing issues with like the bushes. Now you'll see nerds know about like the orientation of this map. But at the end of the day, it's what's your fourth mission? Today it's Furloin, because Lev is
Already
always
got a
Furloining.
green purloin. There's the take. What does Guggy do with the reaction? Does get a good look at it. So I think it's down to a 50-50 now.
Yeah, you definitely want to highlight the twin just because it's a twin.
Yeah,
And you can potentially remember
Banana
Irish or
bread.
just kind of eat the highlight.
that's contact.
When it's down to two players, even if the spy knows that you've highlit them and low lit everybody else, it's still there's like no consequence.
Oh
No!
my god, he shot the other twin!
Guggie!
What happened?
He's assuming it's the rushiest rush to ever rush, because that's not a count. That's three missions,
He,
buddy, and
he
he is
had
shooting near
it
the
down
ambassador.
to two. But I think because he didn't immediately highlight the twin, he thought it was the other twin that was in with Real and did a banana split.
And then went near the ambassador when he was doing low lights. Like, it's justifiable in that I understand the the reason for
I
the shot.
understand how it happened.
I understand how it happened. But May, you're in the finals of Master. How'd you get here? What are you
Alright,
doing? He's playing like
Guggie
me.
on the
It's
spy
awful.
side has made this a bit harder on himself than necessary. Let's see what he's able to do in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
May, it's Courtyard. Count. Can you count to four?
Oh dear.
Okay, we got Lev on the vampire side. He can count. Uh, and it's always curious. There's a couple players who've come through SpyParty and just been very successful. Minirek being the other one that comes to mind, where I'm like, why is everybody trying to be a camper? And Lev's definitely in that party. But as you play enough and you get shot for silly, stupid reasons, you start picking up those things, even if not intentionally, on the sniper. And it's really nice to see Lev just in these situations where you have to make hard decisions. His instincts have definitely improved over time, and it's just kind of made him lethal. And then has also backed that up with a decent win rate on the spy. He, especially if he wins this and just goes automatically through, is not going to be an
Green
easy out
purloin.
in Grandmaster. Meanwhile, we've seen Trey Purloin in more than half our games.
Yep. Here we go. This is not a good venue for Trey Purloins.
Banana bread.
This is a weird banana bread for the conversation that is going to eventually do this Purloin,
Here's the
because it
take.
is fake.
There's the fade. Saw the fade. I don't know if he was paying attention to the fade, but it was very on screen. Very little reaction coming from LevT out of this. We've got 61% on the flirt now. Contact done. Purloin done. Minute and a half to play. It's definitely not a conventional spy game, I'll tell you that. Oh, hello,
Yeah,
Ambassador.
we're the only person in the reject chain who has real banana bread, real contact deleted,
Oh!
and
I
we're definitely
love
the
the
only person.
idea of trying to delay the bug until the Amba is on their way out. It does take, but like that was being stared at pretty heavily. So it was a good try, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, we're the only person with a real banana bread in this Purloin. We're also the only person at this party who bugged.
Yeah, that does tend to happen when you're the spy.
Okay. If you're gonna make a comeback, why not Terrace? It's a weird little map, 3 of 7, only 12 guests and a relatively low clock. But we have all the missions in the world, and we've seen so many purloins from Trey. Maybe here is a spot where Guggie can show some ingenuity, but also not have to deal with Lev just calling over Toby and purloining every game.
Well, let's see how Guggie deals with the bar in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Disney. I hate Disney. You have 12 players. Like there's 12 characters on the
Ooh,
map. How did he get
50%
invited to
flirt.
the party?
That's a delegate already. All
And
right.
you this so Guggie's been shooting like Lev is willing to rush, and Lev at no point has shown any intention to rush. This is a big setup for it. You have the purloin, you've hit the green flirt. If you can get Duke to do something cool, like come stand right next to you, we could see purloin banana bread done with 2 minutes left on the clock.
We've got a spot open. It's not the biggest spot, and also it's not where Duke is going at all.
No, he wants to flirt with multiple people that are not us. All
Oh,
three of them.
Spalding wants in as well.
I mean, you brought Twin to the party and didn't even bring his other twin. You're just hitting random. How dare you?
Yeah, looks like we're not gonna do anything with the delegate, but we still did get that early flirt, which is nice.
Yeah, and this is more what we've seen from Lev already. He's been playing a calculated spy, which is the friendly way of playing slow.
I mean, this definitely has been slow so far. It was real fast right at the beginning, and then nothing happened. Good fake contact. Except that the double agent is not in conversation, so
And there's only one agent on this map too. You're not like tricking him. It's not like the other suspected double agent's gonna be in the other conversation or anything. You're just pressing the button. Ambassador wants to be bugged. He desires to be bugged, but you are also Disney, and you are not allowed to.
Got a little bit of a safety off there on, I think that was Twin and, was it Kane or General? One of those two.
Yeah.
Second flirt comes off. Green test this one up to 75%. But
Banana bread.
there's the real contact
This
this
feels
time
like
around.
banana bread so hard behaviorally. Just the talking timing just felt like it had to be a white test from us. A lot of lowlights, and a lot of lowlights on like people who we don't really want to see lowlit if we're the spy. Smallman being neutral lit here is unpleasant.
So flirt done, contact done, 30 seconds to get one more mission. What's that mission going to be? Because it's not going to be inspect, it's not going to be print. It's not going to be purloin unless we just walk up to the bar and do it straight up. So that's probably out of the question. So that's swap or bug then.
Ambassador goes to the worst place too.
It's got to be swap at this point, 15 seconds.
No, we can't
Are
do
we
that.
just going to give the Amba a hug? Is that what's going to happen? No, we're purloining.
Sure.
I have
demand
concerns.
Past, yeah, you can shoot for the demand here.
3 seconds. That's gonna be like 6 seconds of overtime.
No,
that is
come
not
on,
the
Guggie.
right shot. It's not correct.
There's like 27 actions you can do in this game, and the AI can't do a lot of them. One of them happened at 9:3 on this clock. We demanded a drink from the bartender. Basically skipping through the line. We'd also just requested, so we actually had said, "Hey, come over here," like real hard twice. And with the necessary needing to shoot in overtime, we shot somebody who we were more behaviorally suspicious of. Duke had been highlit all game. But what else are you watching? I don't know. I don't want to be too critical because he got here in the first place, but I'm a bit lost.
All right, so Guggie on the spy side of Terrace versus LevT's sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And as it turns out, he's not having any easier time with purloin when it's at a bar than when it's on a tray.
I mean, if it's a game plan, the question is, what's the rest of the league doing? Why? I mean, there's players who are big nerds in Master. Martini cares about his opponents tremendously. Asni, in fact, is up and coming, but so he hasn't got necessarily the game experience against these players. But I'd be surprised if he's just coming in casually and going, "Huh? How do I beat Guggie? It's impossible." No, just purloined 4 times apparently.
In conversation with the double agent, although not many other people are, so probably not going to be hitting that right click anytime soon.
I wish we could hit a green test. Guggie's spy rate this season has been very strong, especially given the competition. But I've not seen how he's doing it. If it's based on a mechanical sense, it must be pure genius, and we have seen a bit of that genius, a bit of that creativity. But it's being let
Just
down
not
by the
Guggie's
sniper.
day. Just having a rough day of it, and that happens sometimes in this game. Either way, into the flirt goes Guggie for 62%. That is not, in fact, in 3 flirt range. So that's not ideal. Minute and 30 left to play. No other mission progress.
A frame here on Kane would be cool. He's got a
That's a
fingerprint.
bug. That was a good bug. I liked
That's
that bug.
such hater energy from our sniper. We're just watching it, but it's already happened, buddy. There's nothing to watch. And now we're doing it again. Just like, congratulations. Kane's
Check
giving us
the watch,
full
too. It
cover.
looked so suspicious.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to check the watch because Kane's giving you full cover for a bug you've already done. We're just gonna get shot. And it's not even fair. Like, we actually got a great bug. Contacts are just gonna be so brutal. I
We
think
hit a green test. We've got 2 missions done.
if you're
40
Guggy, you
seconds to play.
consider like 4 banana breads next 40 seconds. Just like down
Double agent, that
DA.
is not a
That's so
conversation,
rude.
sir.
Mate,
Okay,
double
so
agent, have you not
we're
seen the
gonna.
score line?
Guggie's like, alright, I guess I'm doing briefcase then.
I mean, there's another option, it's called Purloin, but he's not
20
playing
seconds.
against himself. Going to this fingerprintable statue is so awkward, but I think it might be the best option. Because it's not whatever
10
you just walked
seconds.
in. No, we're being watched for bug, but this double agent does not care.
We've just done that! There's no print on it, sir! He didn't pick it up! Oh no!
SpyParty is a cruel game, man.
Yeah.
We talk about it, and like often it's like the progression of players over time and the skills that it takes, and like the asymmetrical balance of like having to be good at 2 different games, and then just sometimes the double agent just doesn't come to conversation for a minute and it's stupid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Guggy found an out. He could have gone and picked up the fingerprintable statue, but he left it a little bit too late to give himself the opportunity. And at this party, like, who else are you shooting? Just nobody's doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, considering he went back for the briefcase, I'm not even sure he realized that print was there.
Yeah, it's one of the things I haven't mentioned, but is easy. Guggy does not spend much time looking around. I'm not sure if he's really afraid that Lev can shoot for animations, and that's why he's watching himself. But he's not as heads up as I'm used to from the guys who are often in like the finals of like the seasonal cups or stuff. He's not watching the ambassador like a hawk, which would have helped in the situation.
9-3, the current scoreline. Onto Redwoods we go. It's LevT on the spy side versus Guggie's sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Trees, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I was gonna say this has to be match point, right? We're playing to 16, and it's just been a bit of a runaway. I don't think the scoreline's actually fair. I think Guggie's played a little bit better than the scoreline.
Agreed.
But you could also argue that Guggie could have resulted in even like he could have had one less win if he got shot as a spy. So, welcome to SpyParty. Welcome to Redwoods, a map that back in the day it was at PAX, and we play tested it basically live while it was being shown off to the game was being shown off to people. And me and Yeesh, a top level player of yore, went, hey, we don't love the way that the trees are situated. We feel like there's always going to be this gap that you're just going to be incentivized to look through. And
I
instead of
love this story.
changing the trees so there's multiple gaps, they just put a tree in that gap. So now there's just no gap to look through.
Yeah, Jacker's just like, I'm gonna get the top level players to play this and see where they sit and then put trees there.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of this one that's actually getting in the way right now. This is kind of the gap that we were expecting people to use a lot. It still like doesn't cover everything. Things like Purloin, you still have to rotate over. But this back and forth motion, so you can just kind of see and constantly having to move, is in part because there's just slightly more trees than any sniper can be really comfortable about.
With 2 flirts in, it's 57%, which is not the number you want to see 2 flirts in. No other progress right now. His LevT has just been hanging out, big chilling in the middle of the cabin.
Yeah, it's hard to be critical of a man who's winning a lot.
You're not wrong.
Time at? It's Redwoods. You can do like 3 of them and you get away with all of them. As long as you don't do it at the fireplace. The fireplace is pure bait. I do not know
Banana
anybody
red.
who's ever gotten away with a watch check back there. Because why would you go to a fireplace to check your watch? Makes no sense.
LevT,
57% and nothing, but maybe the plan for Lev, given the rest of the set, is
it's
just do
another white.
something to force a shot later. A
Yep.
contact and a purloin has resulted in a win in the majority of games. Putting this into a bookcase is a way for us to get shot, and I would actually hate that. Because
Yeah, I think he's just gonna contact and say, "Come at me." Here's the
yeah, we don't have
contact.
inspects. There's no like
Banana
combo
red.
to put this into a bookcase and then get 2 more inspects or something,
Yeah.
especially with the number on the clock.
Oh, that's a bug attempt, but
Purely
Guggie
behind a
was,
tree, by the way.
yep, in a very unfortunate position to try to see it. LevT is, in fact, going to drop this book in. Gets away with that pretty cleanly. Again, trees in the way. That's another bug attempt. Again,
Good
does not
damn.
take 5 seconds. That one actually got caught. So Guggie able to pick up the game from the sniper side this time around. Saw one of these things that occurred.
Yeah, this is the issue with bad bugs. Is they are both visible to see the bug and also just the path. Just like no AI really would ever do that path. There are good bad bugs, but they often have little wind up. So that's just the fact that they weren't looking, and not just multiple factors that cause it to be just required to be caught. Let's do some more Redwoods. This might be our last game, but we'll find out the hard way in 3, 2, 1, planet.
I mean, we have seen crazier comebacks, but
That
like
we
only
sure have.
once.
I think we've had,
There's been a couple of pretty wild
yeah,
comebacks, but
not in something high stakes very often. I mean this is the finals at the second highest level of, yeah.
yeah, OP versus Erend was
OP
the one
versus
I was
Urine.
thinking of.
I mean, you can argue like what's more prestigious or anything, but you're never gonna get a comeback bigger than that for sure.
Yeah.
Um, to note, especially wrestler, do you know particularly what Guggie's chances are of going to Grandmaster, even if he doesn't pull a miraculous comeback here? Cool. Chat, hit me up.
Guggie and Grandmaster is going to be fun.
Yeah, Silvertron, who I trust implicitly, says they both go no matter what. So, yeah, it's gonna be this high level punk ass spy and behavioral sniping. We haven't seen that. I don't know when was I last in the top level of competitive SpyParty. I'm excited. Yeah, exactly. Guggie's gonna bring a little bit of spice, but he's gotta hit more action tests than he has today. He's gotta do a little bit more. LevT's just been playing solid, as he always does. It is just you are going to get rock from LevT. Can you write a paper? And writing paper is hard.
85% on the flirt as we head into the bar here. We are going to pick up a delegate. Remains to be seen if we're going to use it. Not a terrible contact available here.
Yeah, the desire to flirt, especially when you're as slow as Sorry is high, but I think this contact, especially if boot settles, is advisable.
Minute and 10 to play. All we have is the flirt. No other progress to be seen.
Delegate to the SDA,
Oh.
which is
That
always
could
a
be good
double-edged
or
sword.
could be bad.
And the
We
end of
shall
red.
see. There's the contact coming off to do a little bit of distraction.
I think it's good in this particular spot because we did the contact covering the purloin, which
Agreed.
often gets rid of a suspect, but they were never a suspect in the first place. That bug,
It
however,
doesn't matter. It's just a bug and it's just a shot, and that is going to be the match. It didn't really seem in doubt after the third or fourth venue. LevT was just having a really good day of it, and Guggie was not having such a good day of it. But
yeah,
LevT is able to take it through and win the Master Division.
we've seen historically chaotic players punch way above their weight when it comes to playing against players who are really solid. And LevT at no point during this set gave any impression of like halting or tilting or anything. He just played his game. Came with a bit of a game plan on the spy side, presumably to play slow pace and do purloins, give opportunities for the sniper to miss shoot. He just played super solid and did what he's been doing the whole season, which is winning handedly. I'm excited to see these guys both in Grandmaster, Lev, just for the pure quality and just continuing just a very high level division strength, and Guggie because I think Guggie might be the exact sort of person where you don't want to play them.
Yeah,
Somebody who's
absolutely.
predicted to be seventh in a division like Master, and will probably be
And then does
be
this.
predicted to be at the bottom of Grandmaster when he goes there too, but can beat anybody on any given day. There's no respect. If Rov loses to Guggie, it's shameful. If he beats Guggie, it's expected. You can't win when you're playing against the Goblin. You're wrestling pigs out here, and I'm excited to see him do it because I think he's gonna get some what will probably be upsets unless he does it so often they stop being upsets. And we're kind of getting there.
And speaking of Grandmaster, if you want to see some of that, we're gonna give it to you tomorrow. Same place. I'm not sure if it's the same time.
So when we get to the stream, hello. It's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern time, which is I think 8 p.m. British Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that.
It's gonna be a good time. Thanks a ton for everybody who came out to watch. If somehow you're new here, this game is SpyParty. You can get it on Steam or at SpyParty.com for $25. I highly recommend it. Game is great. If you've been around the block for a little while and are looking to get into competitive play or just looking for people to play with, head to the Discord at discord.gg/SpyParty. There's a ton of great folks there who are always happy to help. There's always events going on. You're going to have a good time. I hope everybody enjoyed the festivities today. I hope we'll see you again tomorrow. And until then, have a great night.
Keep on shooting spies. Keep on purling, boys.
Very
See you later.
well.